Well, Doug, we've been fortunate to have a lot of artists on the show, and we're going to continue that tonight.
Yeah, film artists.
Film artists, yeah, they make films. Really interesting. Skye, Armenta, and Nick Gatsby, who have a company together, Gatsmenta. And they take turns acting, directing, writing, producing. And so it'll be...
They accomplish it all together, and every film, be it short or long.
And they've produced a 90-minute full feature film that's been picked up by Tubi, whatever that is.
I know what it is.
So please welcome Nick and Skye. Welcome to the third chair. I'm here with our guests, Nick Gatsby and Skye Armenta, and of course our co-host Doug, who always battles to get a word in edgewise. And
but I'm going to start this off with something. I didn't realize, because it isn't like the one Daisy is married to in The Great Gatsby, isn't his name Nick, or somebody named Nick?
Nick Carraway, I believe, is the other.
Yeah.
He's the narrator of the story. And
he's the friend of the Gatsby.
Yeah.
Nick Carraway. I thought he was like a seed dealer. Yeah.
It's when Peter said the name, it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
And we have to apologize to our audience. We are called the third chair. But if you're watching, you can see that we have 4 chairs here tonight.
And we have 3 chairs and a stool tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
So still 3 chairs.
I'll change all the graphics now.
Yeah, and all the and the name of the show, the third chair and a stool. But anyways,
someone can get
not
confused.
gonna
A stool? What? Where?
I don't think we're going to do that.
yeah. So
My vote is no.
and Skye, as I mentioned in the introduction, and they do a lot of cool things: acting, writing, directing, producing, and there's probably other things too. Extras.
Yeah.
Do you guys do music as well? Play instruments?
He makes his own music for our films, so he uses like a garage band. And
I compose most of the soundtrack for Zapper, which is our feature coming out. And I had some tracks left over from a very talented composer named Julie McCarthy. She did music for one of my past projects called The Trip House. That kind of fell apart, so I just reached out to her. It's like, can I use the spare tracks that we didn't use for The Trip House, use it for Zapper? So about a good, half and half there.
Well, that's a lot of talent right there in the middle 2 seats. Yeah. So you have a company named Gatsmenta Films, and I heard this name and I said, they've picked a really interesting word from a foreign language. Is it Italian? Is it Spanish? But I'm told in our pre-production meeting that is not correct. How did we come up with Gatsmenta?
that is definitely our name mashup.
Yeah, that's our name mashup. So I guess
Skye
it
Armenta and Nick Gatsby.
It is part Spanish, yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't totally off.
No.
Yeah. Now, I saw your logo. To me, it looked like a mushroom with a mustache.
Yeah.
You would be right.
Okay. Please elaborate.
We have the...
Yeah, we have tattoos of it.
Oh, nice. Magic
So that
tattoos.
looked like it could be an Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we just lend more towards, especially with Zapper, you just lend more towards the psychedelic type of trope.
Yeah.
Well,
for certain
and
things,
here in
so-
Colorado, the laws have recently changed, allowing personal use of psilocybin. But interesting, they didn't allow the use of peyote and mescaline.
No.
So, so there's a lot of talk of that in the Colorado communities. Yeah. So I wondered, did that have anything to do with it, or was...
Were we on acid when we made it? No, I don't think we were on acid at all, or mushrooms at all when we made it. I mean, we dabble, but when we were making the film, it wasn't something that was like a make or break. I think we just like that aesthetic, and we just like that kind of like pulling from the 90s and 60s.
Yeah,
sort of
we have a good mashup of different decades of movie periods, and I know pretty much since I started filmmaking, I've very much been interested in surrealism and psychedelic, and kind of combining that along with like experimental films. So that's kind of what we've been kind of throwing our hat in the ring towards, you know.
So, like, do you play a lot of Jimi Hendrix?
I love Jimi Hendrix.
A great guitarist.
I like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think Pink Floyd might be our biggest like inspiration for stuff.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
A lot of 60s psychedelic music, and you know, even today there's a lot of you know, psychedelic genres and stuff like that, experimental music. That's I know for me personally, that's been a big inspiration for what I do.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, so, okay, so you got this company, and I know, because I've seen some of your social media, you offer different kinds of services. You know, trying to make a living, we're all trying to make a living.
Yeah.
What kinds of services, like, say, if there was someone from the general public, if they were looking for something, would your company provide?
So I think a big thing is Skye has a degree in cinematography from Full Sail. My experience with cinematography, operating cameras and stuff, in directing. Mostly what people are looking for, at least in Colorado, is someone who could just operate a camera really well and edit. So that's
like,
kind
of... you do weddings?
Weddings.
We do weddings. We do
like events and
You've
stuff
never
like that.
died from that?
Yeah.
He wanted to for one of them.
Did you ever have Bridezilla Bride? You know, did you ever see that show? Or
She wasn't quite Bridezilla. She was just a little unpleasant.
Well, to be fair, is mostly the what do you call the groom side, the best man?
Yeah.
So kind of the last wedding we did, the best man and the second groomsman, they had a speech and they just made it really awkward, if that makes sense.
It was hard to edit. That's all that it was. It was just hard to make it not cringy.
Yeah, and the bride was not really feeling their speech too well.
We just had to cut her reaction slot out. And
Yeah.
And we basically did away with the speech too.
Yeah.
We've made a company charter that we don't do weddings. We don't want
seen
to
too
die.
many angry. I had a good friend who hired a real nice company to video her wedding, and they totally botched it. Had zero film to show for it. Yeah, which is you know, it's like there's safer things to do, like swim with great white sharks, than film weddings. Yeah, and
because you know that's their day.
That's their day.
Yeah. With our company, as far as weddings go, we kind of specialize in what I call like music video wedding reels, where you know, we'll do like a regular type wedding video where we record all the audio and stuff, all the vows, but what the bride and groom want, what their family want, is just kind of like a montage of the whole wedding experience with some really nice music. We let the bride and groom pick out the music, and we just take the best clips of the event and we display them in kind of like a montage with the soundtrack they provided us.
Really
I mean, you can have a lot of fun with that. Like, I mean, what if you pick some songs like "What's Love Got to Do with Got to Do"?
I wish they chose songs like that, but usually it's not.
Heard it from a friend. You've been messing around.
So you've done this for a while. They pick a song.
They pick a song.
What's your favorite song that they pick?
Oh, the
Ours
last
is different.
I usually have different songs.
I like that
in mind.
"I Get to Love You" song.
Well, one of the songs I liked that they chose was "My Girl" by the Shy. I think it's by Shy Lights. "My Girl," you know that. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The people dance to, and you know, the Four Tops, the Temptations spinning around.
Or is it the Temptations?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you never use Another One Bites the Dust or Highway to Hell?
No. That would be interesting, though.
That would be fun, too.
Yeah.
So,
we do acting classes, too, with our company, too. So I just want to plug that.
Yeah.
Oh, hold that thought. We're going to come right back to that after this break. Welcome back to the third chair. We're here with Nick and Skye and, of course, Doug. And I checked my ID. I'm still Peter. And so we're talking about that your company also offers acting lessons. So tell us about that a little bit. And sort of like you help people prepare for auditions or if they have a part, working with them as a side partner, or what kinds of things do you do?
So basically what we do is we offer on a pay-what-you-can basis, which is, I think, one of the first in Colorado. I haven't heard of anyone else who's been doing it. But it was really important to me that we offered like a pay-what-you-can basis where there's no judgment whether they give like $1 or like $50 per hour. Doesn't matter. It was really important to me for that just because as I was like building up my credits as an actor, living in LA, it was really hard for me to afford continuing my acting training as I was there just because it was just impossible. So we do that, and what we do is basically I ask for the actor to come in with like a prepared monologue. It can be comedic or drama, I don't care. And then we just sort of go through it. We start and stop and see where we can like work out the kinks and everything like that. And a lot of my last client, they were preparing for a audition for Juilliard. And so we had to work on 3 different types of monologues. So it just depends on like what the actor's need is and what they're looking for.
Do you teach them to slate too? Like, I'm
yeah.
Peter, turn, I'm independent,
Yep.
non-union.
Yeah. And luckily we have Nick, so Nick records the entire audition and he cuts it to where like they have a demo reel type of content.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Does that come in the pay as you like price?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, that's
really
great. That's
Yeah.
great. I did some voiceover work and had some demos made, short ones. So that seems to be the trend. Like people decide in like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Watch it for 7 seconds. You're in or you're out. I had
So do you put some of these people in your movies?
We're thinking about putting one of my acting clients in one of our movies. Her name is Anne Marie. She's great. Super willing to kind of like go outside the box and try something that's not comfortable, which is what we kind of look for in actors.
Definitely.
Is just like actors that are willing to kind of go out of their comfort zone and try something that looks silly or feels silly, because like it or not, it looks better on camera than it feels, which is a lot of the time. So that's really cool. So we meet a lot of cool actors just from like hosting our own little acting lessons and things like that.
Have you found, and I don't know what percentage of the time this is, I've talked with a lot of people that will be filmed, they have a part in a movie or whatever, and they literally do not want to watch the final project.
I'm like that.
They don't want to watch themselves act. You know, everyone else is saying great, and you look at it and you go, oh, that was so terrible, or I could have done better. Do you find that common sort of feeling?
Yeah. I mean, as an like, I hate seeing myself on camera, absolutely. I hate watching myself back. I hate watching our video when I'm on screen. I hate it. But I think the fact of the matter is that you're not going to get any better unless you kind of like confront those flaws and confront those like perceived ideas of what is good and what isn't.
You know, I did some voiceover work, and because I have a medical science background, I narrated some pretty significant medical stuff. And when I auditioned, the guy literally is telling me, "Where have you been my life? Yours is exactly the voice I've been looking for years." And I'm thinking to myself, really? I mean, I hear myself talk all the time, and it's like,
right.
Yeah. It's
It's sort of like pulling yourself back and seeing yourself from a different person's perspective, because that's what the camera is. It's just a different perspective on what reality is. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I have another question, and I'm not exactly sure how to ask this. you all both do a lot of similar things, but I understand you sort of take turns. Does that mean like someone's doing more writing and more acting while the other person's doing more producing or directing or editing? How do you work that?
We usually take turns in the director's chair. Yeah.
Like we'll work together on a script. Like we usually write the script together typically, or like at least one of us writes the bones and the other person edits it, type of thing. But as far as like taking turns, the only thing we take turns on is directing it.
Yeah.
Because he's a more experienced director than I am. I'm just getting started, but luckily, like, we have this kind of like turntable thing where like we kind of
we take turns on each project. Like I'll helm one project, and after that, Skye will helm the next. It just flip flops.
Do you have different styles of directing? I mean, like
he's more surrealist, which I really appreciate, and I'm more of like a realist type of like gritty, raw type of film. Whereas he's more like fantastical and like just bizarre, off the wall Lynchian type of stuff. So it's cool when we come together,
So have you become more fantastical and you become more realist for working together?
I think so.
Have,
I think we kind of have traded some traits back and forth as far as like filmmaking goes, and I think that keeps our projects more grounded, more interesting, more something
more
that
people
original.
would want to watch.
Yeah,
because just by itself, I think like Nick's is so surreal that like it's for a niche group, and mine is so like disturbing that it's for a niche group, and then when we like combine it, it's sort of more of appealing to other audiences.
Yeah, definitely.
I think of some very different style directors like Clint Eastwood, because he got his start in a lot of westerns. He basically, when he was directing, he would say like, go ahead. They didn't do the lights, cameras, action because it scared the horses and they couldn't film. And so it was like very low key, like, go when you're ready. And then you had other people.
That's why
like,
you didn't say a word.
You didn't say a word, but then
we said, "Go ahead, make my
day."
That was in the Dirty Harry movie.
That series. Or Kubrick. He was always known for going to the actors, and the only feedback he'd give them after a take was, make it more interesting.
Pretty much.
He wouldn't tell you like what you did right, what you did wrong. Just make it more interesting and shoot again until it was interesting, whatever that meant.
Yeah.
Honestly, I appreciate that, because I've worked with too many directors that give 0 notes. They're like, okay, let's run it again.
Well, the thing with Kubrick too, because I'm a huge Kubrick fan, is he would actually go to the actors and ask them like what they thought the story should go, like he would ask them what ideas they should bring to the movie, like how they think a scene should go, how they think the story should go, and
collaboration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Hal?
I don't know if he talked to Hal, but there's stories of Full Metal Jacket where he'd go to Matthew Modine and all those guys and be like, okay, we need an ending for this movie. How are we gonna end this? Give me ideas. And each actor would give him an idea of what they had in mind, but Matthew Modine didn't really have an idea, so it frustrated him. And eventually he's like, I don't know what you want from me, man. Like, he's like, I just want an idea from you. That's all.
Well, it's funny that so many of the great movies, they didn't even know how they were going to end when they started. You think it'd be like a script there with a.
And there was too.
The classic ending of Oz and Casablanca. They were fighting about the ending until
Now, do you?
Humphrey Bogart didn't want that ending.
So
it made him too.
To go along with that, I mean, do you ever find? And I know Rob Bone has talked to me about this. When an actor it comes to their part, and it's like they just don't like the lines.
Yeah.
I want to change it.
I
it's like you
understand
can't,
that, yeah.
but you can't because these lines have to be delivered to make the movie make sense.
Yeah, there's some Tarantino filmmakers, writers out there that like you have to say every single word the way it's written.
I'm not necessarily.
We're not
way.
like that. We're I'm not in love.
As long as it doesn't like destroy the integrity of the film, and it doesn't like make it so that the audience can't follow the storyline, then I'm fine with the actor following their own instincts and kind of like making their own things sound natural.
I'm not totally in love with my dialogue. I try to write how people talk. I don't try to do this Tarantino-esque deal where they're talking like they came out of 1950s Howard Hawks movie. I just try to write as like simplistic as possible when it comes to the dialogue, and I'm not married to the dialogue. I write it down so there's stepping points to progress the story. But I'm like, if you guys have any way to make this dialogue better, let me know.
But you do run into problems, especially at higher levels, because you have people that are getting assigned writing credits, and if an actor changes too many lines, it may affect who actually can get writing credit,
and
or
we'll
whether you have to
discuss
add
the
it.
details of that after this break.
Another break.
Yes.
This is our second one.
Very
This
good,
has
Peter.
been 10.5 minutes.
Real people, real stories, real life. We're looking for guests. We're looking for you here on the third chair. I'm Peter, that's Doug, and how many different ways can we have guests?
Oh, at least 3. We could have them here in the studio in Colorado Springs. We've had guests all the way from LA on Zoom, and we have gone on location, and we got our 3rd one already in the planning phase.
Awesome. Send us an email and we'll get you on the show.
Welcome back to the third chair, and Peter, I got him going during the break. And we're going to talk about, you mentioned earlier you did a film called Zapper, and it's actually full length, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Zapper is kind of a surrealist tale. I was trying to make something simplistic as far as stories go, and so I was trying to bring it back into like that childhood imaginary type thing where you just kind of make up shit as you go.
We were very like stream of consciousness.
Very
I think,
stream
when
of consciousness.
When we did that film.
It's basically about different factions of gangsters who are all after the same goal of collecting this, capturing this ancient relic as theirs. So they're all kind of battling it out, but little do they know they're all part of like this game where they're kind of just killing each other for these higher ups amusement,
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
surreal.
Is that the clip where people are shooting at each other with bananas?
Yes.
Yes.
Like
that is the
banana phasers?
Yeah. Banana laser guns, yeah. I was trying to, because Andy Warhol has that famous painting of the Velvet Underground's album cover where it's a banana. So that was kind of the inspiration for that.
Soup too.
Yeah.
So
isn't that up in Fort Collins? I think it's here, or maybe it was just brought through as
like a museum
tour,
exhibition. Yeah. So that was kind of an inspiration of that, and I figured, there's so many guns in movies, we could make a banana gun movie, like.
And it's easier to film.
Bananas?
Yeah, it's real bananas.
So I mean, the budget was pretty good because
Right.
you go to the store, you buy a bunch of bananas.
No, exactly.
Then at the end of the scene, you have a snack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So wait a minute, I don't want to use the ones Joe used as a gun because he squished too hard. I don't want that banana.
That's for the banana pudding.
Yeah. And are there semi-automatic bananas and automatic bananas?
Not to spoil anything, but there is a semi-automatic weapon in the movie, but it's not a banana. It's something else. I won't spoil it, but
I hope it's a pineapple. Our producer hates pineapples. Oh, you could have done a pineapple bomb.
Have the bad guys do that because they're bad.
Yeah.
Well, they're mostly all bad guys, but they're being tricked. So these guys up there stairs are even worse, right?
Yeah. So
at least the way I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to try and play the trailer at some part during the show.
Thanks for being here, man. I hope I didn't have you waiting too long. I got in touch with some top-level guys, and they're paying some serious dough to go after the kings of Boone. If you accept this job, step forward, collect your weapon, and your fat stack deposit.
What the fuck?
Bring forth the carnage! Give me that board first.
But, I watched the trailer. I was impressed with the different kinds of colors that would come and go. It had a little bit of a Yellow Submarine, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
That was a huge inspiration
kind of
for the movie.
A feel to it as well.
Yeah, not Sgt. Pepper's movie, right?
Not the one with the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton.
Yeah, I didn't think that
do
was.
Do you feel like I do? Yeah.
Definitely. I love Yellow Submarine. I love the art style. I love the surrealism of it all. It's very wacky. It's very just out there, and that's kind of what we tried bringing into this movie. So Yellow Submarine was indeed like a huge inspiration on the film.
We just wanted it cartoony and
very
fun
cartoony,
I laughed at that part where, without giving away too much.
Well, if it was in the trailer.
If it's, I tried my best not to spoil anything in the trailers.
But where that moose buck comes out and
and
you yell, "Oh, buck!"
Yeah, what the buck?
What the buck?
Yeah. So the buckhead is kind of like an intimidating force throughout the film. He kind of stalks characters around,
So this
calls it a moose.
Sorrel, so I assume you were the director.
Yeah,
he
I was the director.
Zapper,
writer, director.
Yeah, I filmed it and I was acting in it, and he acted in it as well. So.
Yeah.
So you have people on the set. Now, do you pay them, or how does that work?
Yeah, we pay them. We pay them.
Yeah, we at least
what we do is we feed our people.
Yeah, we feed our
We
volunteers.
feed them
yeah,
and we
yeah.
pay them as much as we can.
Yeah, we had the very minuscule
Well, that's pretty
budget for
nice.
the film. We
Yeah.
at least gave them gas money for travel and we fed them.
People with lines, we usually pay anywhere between like 50 and 70 for a day on set.
Wow.
But
good.
anyone without like extras, we try to throw them like gas money.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's good. I've been an extra in several films where they haven't even done the courtesy of that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I think if you're
I
asking
think at
people
very
to be
little,
an actor,
But
at least having
people,
some
I think
finger
they
food.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we try.
Which is a good movie making tip if you're making a movie and you're having extras.
Yeah, you gotta
at
feed
least,
the cast.
At least have some
Yeah.
food there for them.
That's yeah.
You gotta feed the
Chili's
cast and
really
crew.
easy. We'd have a crock pot of chili somewhere in the corner.
Except the time Doug spilled it when we were at this place.
I don't recall that being me. It was the other Doug.
No, it wasn't.
Well, there's
That
two
was-
Dougs, so we'll have to.
That was the first time we were filming there too, but he let us film some other times.
Yeah.
So this has been picked up by Tubi, and I've heard of Tubi. Can you describe that to our?
So Tubi is it's a streaming site for movies, just like Amazon, just like Netflix. It's totally free. You don't have to subscribe to it. The only thing is they play commercials during the runtime of the film.
It's like Freeverse, which is Amazon's own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've seen-
Freevee or whatever that's
and
called.
I think
Yeah.
Roku, which belongs to the TV. or
They call
something.
it AVOD, which is advertisement video on demand. So there's SVOD, which is subscription, which would be like Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Does it have Maverick on it? The movie Maverick?
With
Probably
the
on
top,
Tubi.
the
Probably, yeah.
The Top
I mean,
Gun?
Tubi.
No,
Maverick? The
the
Wild
one
Westers?
with Mel Gibson.
That's an 80s film, right? 80s, 90s,
Late
90s.
90s.
With him and
Yeah,
Tom
I
Cruise.
guarantee they
I
have
think I
that
just
on
watched
there.
that
Yeah.
on Tubi.
They have a lot of,
They have really good films on Tubi.
Tubi is great for like older movies as well as indie stuff. Amazon has kind of shunned away indie filmmakers, and they're more focusing on mainstream stuff. But Tubi really embraces older films, cult films, underground movies, indie films. So it's like a great place for movies that have kind of been forgotten about, and they kind of bring that to the forefront on Tubi, which is really like awesome.
The cool
That's
thing-
sad about
yeah.
Amazon because they got their start because of the indies.
Oh, they did, and
They used to champion indie films on Amazon, and now it's just
exactly.
sort of like you get a cent for an hour. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like it's.
Well,
I was thinking earlier in the early days of cable, back in when I was in high school in the 70s and 80s.
1879.
70s. I mean, before it was 3 stations.
Yeah.
We didn't even have Fox yet.
And Doug was the antenna. He had to go stand on it and hold his hand.
No, that's if you wanted PBS. You had to.
Gotta do the reach,
It was
yeah.
ABC and CBS and NBC, and that was it, And then we got cable, and there was all kinds of creativity in the early days of cable. I mean, MTV was all music videos.
MTV was music.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When Skye and I were kids, they were still playing music videos like frequently. And
They
now
had like that
it's-
morning wake up where you woke up before school.
I
and it
would
was 2
watch
hours
that
of
every
music
day
videos.
before school to see my favorite music videos.
My friend and I, we had a place together when we were in our early 20s, and we just turned on MTV all day, and we wouldn't be watching it, but we would stop and like, oh, that's an interesting video, and stop and watch that one. And but it was stuff like that you could do in the early days of cable. But it's like everything else, as it becomes more sophisticated, some of the uniqueness goes away, and it becomes corporate.
Very corporate.
Sophisticated, boring.
Well, that
Yeah.
raises a question though. To be or not to be.
And with that, we're going to break because we can't keep going after that line. welcome back to the third chair, and we're talking about cable TV, Tubi, and Hamlet.
Shakespeare,
All of
yeah.
it.
Hamlet, yeah.
Yes.
And we have Nick and Skye.
That's when he's considering suicide.
Was he? Oh, I thought he was just ordering a
took a
cable
dark
channel.
turn.
Yeah.
You know, I read that in high school, and we did the whole thing, and then I read it again recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy was... Because people say, was Hamlet mad or something?
Right.
And then I started reading it again, and I said, oh my gosh, he was mad.
Yeah, he's batshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I wanted to mention as well, just before I forgot the thought, the trailer for Zapper, it also reminds me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail a little bit, too. There's that certain sort of slapstick humor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't seen enough of it, but...
I know two guys who memorized that whole movie.
Really?
Yes, they can...
Was one of them John Cleese?
No, I mean...
I can recite all of Goodfellas. That's about it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
They could recite Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It's a classic. It's
Yeah.
a good
It is
one.
a classic. I mean, that is...
And you would get in so much trouble if you tried to produce that today.
Yeah. That goes for a lot of movies and content, unfortunately.
Sure,
but
yeah.
The Mel Brooks's...
History of the World.
No, Blazing
Saddles.
Blazing
Yeah.
Saddles.
Oh,
Oh, my
they-
probably History of the World, too,
Yeah.
also.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one as well. But.
Spaceballs a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He covered all the bases to insult everyone.
Free speech isn't as free anymore, you know?
So do you have any idea when this movie's coming out on Tubi?
You know, they don't give you, they don't really give you a time frame. It's just kind of, once it's delivered, we're distributing through Film Hub, which is a great online distributor where you upload your movie and then they try to reach out to every streaming site they can, see if the streaming site is interested. So far we have about 4.
Tubi,
Amazon, Plex, which is another AVOD commercialized, movie site, and Thrills TV, which is new. It's not out yet. They're launching it in March.
Yeah, they're coming out that, and it should be on like smart TVs and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Roku and Fire Stick, stuff like that. So we don't really know yet. They just take it and they'll just throw it on there randomly when they see fit.
We're planning on having a screening though for it in February.
Yeah, we'll be having a screening in February for the cast and crew, so they could check out the film. As far as it getting released, so we're not sure yet. I would love to know so I could start like promoting it, but but they don't really.
I like this. Just Peter talking about the trailers got me very interested.
Oh yeah, definitely check out. There's
So
2.
I gotta watch the trailer.
So far we have 2 trailers up. We have a teaser trailer, which is just like a small scene from the movie, and then we have the main trailer, which you guys have.
Was the teaser trailer where like you get hit like with a bolt of lightning and like disappear and melt?
No,
is that a different clip?
that might be a different Zapper. No, it's basically it's me versus the deer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you guys get a sneak peek. We'll
You
send
get a little
sneak peek
you
of
get a
it.
little scene of the deer attacking me.
Oh,
and,
excellent.
So who played the deer? Did you?
it's
that
just
was definitely a fake deer.
It wasn't
taxidermy
it was a
deer.
it wasn't a fake deer. It was a dead deer that's been stuffed and
and a lot of the film is like super meta, super like how do you describe?
we don't want to spoil the meta stuff because that becomes like a big thing in the story, but it's very cartoony, very Yellow Submarine, very Monty Python, and also it captures a style of film that I don't think anyone has done before, and that's not us gloating. I really don't think
We just haven't seen it.
the world of this movie, throughout the movie, the colors strobe through different. It changes. The hue changes through different colors.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie.
And that's that's not just a gimmick. That's the universe of the movie, and I don't think anyone's done that before in the film.
How did you do that? Did you do that with lenses in real time? Or
That was
special
all
effects after post-production?
that was all through Adobe Premiere, and I'm pissed at Adobe because I took that effect away,
We have to use it
was
though.
yeah, exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
But his Hugh.
Maybe they'll put it on after the movie comes up.
Right.
Yeah. Special comment by management. The opinions of the guests do not reflect the opinions of Two Men and a Duck Entertainment or the Third Show.
No, to be fair, we love Adobe. Adobe
we
is
use it for everything, but
I love
Jesus.
Adobe, but don't take away my Hue effect, please.
Since I am a part of this staff, I won't give you my. I use a lot of Adobe, but yeah, I understand they do odd things.
Yeah, they do very odd things.
How long did it take you to film this?
I think it took
8 months.
I don't even know if 8 months, maybe
6?
Probably like 7. I want to say we started it.
Filming took a lot less time than editing.
We started in summer of 2021. Took a kind of a break, so we're moving to the Springs, and then started again in I want to say September, and then we filmed until
January.
I want to say, January, February, sometime around there. So,
editing spends about over a year now.
Yeah.
But isn't that typical that your post-production
we just
is
use so
the
much
longest,
green screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the longest part of it.
Editing always, even without green screen, editing always is the longest part.
Yeah.
And so you filmed like a lot of weekends and nights and when you could get your cast
Whenever.
together.
Yeah, I mean, me and Skye were the main characters, per se. Well, I shouldn't even say main characters. There's a lot of different characters in the film, but we're kind of, our parts, we kind of took on whichever day we felt was best. We have all the green screen stuff at home and camera equipment, so we would just film more when it felt right,
So how many people are in this movie?
We have a cast of 29 actors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
total.
Total. That's including us.
It doesn't feel like that much when we were filming it, but then when we did the credits, we were like, "Oh,
there's a lot
there's a lot of people."
And we had we had two voice actors as well.
Somebody played a deer.
Yeah, some people just no. A lot of the voice actors, like my uncle was a voice actor in it, who's amazing. He actually did an audiobook for the entire Holy Bible, so check it out.
Awesome.
But he did a voiceover, and then you also had someone else do a voiceover.
Yeah, Rob Milton, who's pretty popular. He's mostly a guy who does his services off of Fiverr. So I hired him off of there. Everyone makes jokes about Fiverr, but there's very talented people on Fiverr. So
there's a lot of things that aren't $5.
Yeah, everyone talking smack about Fiverr needs to just shut up because there's some very talented people. So
we got lucky. Mikey Armenta, we got him. It was all good.
Yeah, we had a lot of great people working on this, but 29 people, which is the most I've
We didn't
ever
have all of them
worked with.
show up on one day.
No, of course,
we only had like 2 or 3 people show up to set like every shoot day, and we just shot, and then it was done. So
it's fairly broken up.
Did you have any extras?
There's a few. We did a day of just extras where we had I want to say 5-6 people show up, and we're shooting a bar scene, so we needed people to be the patrons in the bar. So we did a day where we just kind of filmed them sitting at a table drinking, stuff like that.
They were cool.
Yeah,
we also paid them too, which was nice.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were in a position at that point to pay a decent amount for every extra or every actor.
So since Tubi, maybe Amazon, and all these others, do you think you'll be making your money back? And
God, I hope so.
Probably not.
If we do a good job, if we do a good job with promotion and getting the movie out there, if people like it and they spread it around like wildfire, then I think we'll be okay. Is
that what they pay based on how many views?
Yeah, Amazon, I don't want to, we're going on Amazon, so I don't want to talk smack too much, but they only pay a penny an hour per hour.
Per viewer household sort of thing?
Well, per hour,
and per hour viewed.
So if
the TV's on for an hour,
right?
Yeah, if they're watching the movie for an hour, we make a penny.
So yours is about 90 minutes, so you get a penny and a half.
Yeah.
if I watch
pretty much.
Sweet. Yeah, well, that's yeah. Well, on that note, penny saved a penny earned. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Peter from Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching, and as you know, I do help people with drug and alcohol recovery issues. I love to help people get better, but I also offer a variety of other services, including regular life coaching services. I've helped several people write and finish a book. I've helped a doctor that was in medical school graduate and then get into a residency. And I also actually have quite a background in mathematics, and I do some math tutoring for the GED as well as the ASVAB for those that are thinking about a career in the military. So my contact information is on the screen. Please send me an email or a text, and we can talk about some of these services and how I can help. That's Peter Grigg at Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching. Well, welcome back to segment 5 of the third chair, even though there's 4 chairs. And we have our guests, Nick and Skye. And I was just thinking during the break, the last time I saw you two was at the Short Circuit Film Festival here in Colorado, where you had a starring role in the film Mealtime. Tell us about that film.
So I wrote and directed Mealtime. It was basically a short film of self-exploration. It had a lot to do with like self-acceptance and the pervasivity of eating disorders in the world, despite appearances or certain like medical diagnoses or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. It was in the Women for Film segment of the festival, which I was in the bracket with like really good filmmakers, which was really cool.
It was a good film. I saw it. I thought you did a good job.
Thank you.
And that's not a topic that's easy to talk about or broach. A lot of very hush-hush behind closed doors.
I honestly didn't get very much hate at all for it, which was nice. I got pretty good feedback about it, so that was really good to see. For sure.
Yeah. And had you been thinking about making that film for a while, or was that sort of more recent on-the-spot inspiration?
A little of both. It was my turn. So.
It was your turn. I mean, do you have like topics in a bowl and it's like, okay, it's my turn. Put your hand in the bowl. We're going to do.
I think it's just what strikes, whatever
elephants in Africa. Yeah.
Joking,
whatever inspiration strikes us.
Next film will be about cat juggling.
It's not inaccurate.
cat juggling is Nick's.
So yeah, it was something that I always wanted to, because from my past, it was something that was really important to me. And it was nice to get out. But looking back at it, I wish I incorporated some more like surrealist type of elements to it. Luckily, Nick did the editing, so it was easier to kind of like
throw my little signature style
make it a little bit more interesting, because I think my work as a whole by itself can tend to be a little bit of a downer. So I think
a streak of dark.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. Not every movie has to be all.
It's usually pretty raw and sad. So Nick luckily brings to my work a lot of really nice elements. So that was good. Yeah.
Obviously a dynamic team.
But that's good. You're kind of opposites in a way, because that works, because you can pick up ideas and support each other with ideas
from
the other's point of view.
So if people would like to contact your company, suppose someone's thinking about a project, a commercial for Facebook, a short film, acting lessons.
Bridezilla.
Bridezilla.
Don't jinx us.
What's the best way for people to do that?
You plug it.
So we're on Facebook, Gatsmenta Films. We're also on Instagram and TikTok at Gatsmenta Films. I also have my personal Instagram account and Gatsby303, and Skye has hers, which she'll plug.
Skye Armenta. Yeah, it's super easy to find. It's just my name.
And so you would like people to send messages to you through that mechanism?
Yeah, they can go through the messenger on Facebook for Gatsmenta Films, or you can just email us at gatsmentafilms@gmail.com.
Okay,
we check that every day.
Yeah, we're very open to collaborating and doing business with local talent. So
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you. And you have agreed to stay on for another episode. And so I'm going to say please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell icon so you know when we've uploaded another episode. Good night from the third chair.